So first thing I will be doing is I will be explaining you about the syllabus. But one thing is very important. Like before I'll start with my session, I just want to make sure uh, that everyone will be coming in the live sessions. Please make sure about these things. Because in any case, if you leave the live session, it will become very difficult to cop up because I've seen in many students they start with the live sessions but they move to the recordings because of any reason. But even if in any case you are not available for any session, just make sure you will be going through to the recording before you are coming for the next session. Even if you are not able to check the recording, please come for the session. Don't wait like first I'll see the recording, then only I'll be joining the live session. Don't do that type of mistake, because if you leave the live session, it will be very, very difficult to cope up with entire things. And practically, I'm saying we lose our focus. So all of you are paying so much money. You'll pay so much money for examination as well. So make sure you will be regularly attending the sessions. And one thing more I want to discuss, like what usually I have seen, many students started with the full confidence, full motivation. But once we move forward, they lose their focus. And mostly it is because you are not attending the live session and they leave the course in between. So don't do that. If you have started with something, make sure you will be completing it. I always share these few things in my starting batch. I always share this because I've seen these type of problems happening a lot. They'll say, "Sir, we are not getting the time to study. We are not able to do everything. We are not able to. We are the family man." So, lot of excuses everyone have. So, I don't want that. You will be losing any such hope or any such motivation. You'll have the motivation, same motivation goes on. I want this from everyone. So, first of all, I'm just sharing my screen and I'll be showing you what all we have in our syllabus. I'm just assuming that everyone have a GLEIM access, and if you don't have, you'll get it soon. So, in the GLEIM access, when we open the FAR, so this is a FAR syllabus. So this is about our syllabus. We have approx 15 chapters in FAR. So if you check any other like any other material, you'll find out different way of presenting the chapters. But in we will follow this proper this form, this structure we will be following in our classes. So we have a basic financial statements. Then we have the topics related to assets, cash, investment, receivables, inventories, PPE. Then we have the topics related to liabilities. Then we have a equity related topic. Then we have a CFR. We have statement of cash flow, which is only related to the financial statements only. And the last topic we have is the government accounting. So government accounting has been reduced a lot, and some part of the government accounting is moved to bar. Okay, but before I'll just continue with this, one more thing I want to check with everyone. Guys, which elective paper you are going to select? So there are three elective papers, bar, TCP, and ISC. Which paper you have like Which paper you are planning to like select? TCP. I think everyone is okay with. Okay, Sachi is saying bar. Okay, we'll discuss afterwards about this more. But yes, bar is something I feel is a lengthy portion. Okay, so I'm just starting with our syllabus now. So we are starting with financial statements. This is the first chapter. In this chapter, we will be discussing about the balance sheet, about we call the balance sheet as a statement of financial position. We'll discuss about the income statement. We'll discuss about the comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, special purpose framework. These all topics we are going to discuss in this particular chapter. So, can anybody please let me know what is the difference between balance sheet and income statement? Why we call the balance sheet as a statement of financial position? Any reason? So, what the balance sheet shows and what the income statement shows, what's the difference will be there?
Income statement showing the current year's situations, revenue and cost, and balance is the accumulated status of a company since
Okay,
inception.
okay. Anyone else? Yes, Prateek.
Yes, sir. The balance sheet is overall company's assets and liability statement.
Okay. But why we call
Oh,
it as a statement of financial position? Okay, let me explain that. So, just a simple thing. When I'm using the term financial position, some of the companies have a good position in the market, some have normal position. What does this mean? Position of a company. Position of the company is something that comes with the assets and liabilities they hold, mostly with the assets they hold. Some company who is having a lot of assets, like they have 100 crores of assets. And there is a company, this company, let me say, is making the profit of 10 crores every year. And there's a company who is having an asset of 20 crores but making the profits of 12 crores every year. Which company is good? Definitely the company having the higher amount of assets is good, because at the time the company will liquidate, they will be the shareholders or the debt holders will be having a better chances of getting their money back. So they have a better position in the market, we can say. When I'm using the term statement of income, it will be ultimately showing the amount of profits or profits earned or losses incurred by the company. Next we have is a comprehensive income. We'll discuss about it later in the coming session. But comprehensive income include two parts. When we include the income statement and statement of other comprehensive income. When we include these two statements combinedly, the combined income, including the net income plus OCI income, we call it as a comprehensive income. Next we have is a statement of changes in equity. Whatever the changes in the equity will be happening, like equity is something mainly in India, equity is a share capital. But here, when I'm using the term equity, I'm talking about the entire capital side of the balance sheet. So there are three sides of the balance sheet. One side we have the assets, other side we have a liabilities plus capital. So capital is something will be represented by the name of equity in US. Then we have a special purpose framework like cash basis, mercantile basis, but all we will be following that we will be discussing in this chapter, in this topic. So I'm first starting with the balance sheet. In the balance sheet, the first topic we are talking about is financial statements. How many financial statements are there? So we have the balance sheet, which is which will be showing the financial position of the company at the end of the period. This is the first statement we have. So this is same as the balance sheet of the company. So it shows the assets, liabilities, and equity of the company. Next we have is a comprehensive income. It includes net income from income statement, and other comprehensive income will be included here. It includes the net income, which is the part of income statement, and OCI. Next is investment by and distribution to the owners. Investment by and distribution to the owners that will be included here. What is that?
Statement of changes in equity.
Right. It is the changes in the equity. So mainly whatever is being invested by means we are issue in US we call issue equity share capital as a common stock. So it includes the issue of common stock. It includes the payment of dividend. We take the money in the form of common stock and we distribute the money in the form of dividends. So that will be included here. We'll prepare the statement of retained earnings, statement of changes in equity within this statement. It also includes a statement of changes in equity. Next is cash flows during the period. That will be shown by cash flow statement. So any idea why we prepare the cash flow statement? Just to know the cash flow of the company or something else?
To know how much we are earning from the various types of activities,
Okay,
whether cash is whether cash is outflowing from the company or we are gaining something from the activities.
okay.
The frequency of inflow and outflow, sir.
Frequency of inflow or outflow. Okay,
So it shows li liquidity of the company
liquidity.
position.
Okay, okay. Everyone is correct, I think. But when I'm using the term cash flow, I'll be talking more about the cash. So, what happened when the stakeholders of the company look at the balance sheet? Ultimately, the balance sheet is not presented for 1 year. Balance sheet is being presented for at least for 2 years. Like, we are looking for the cash flows of the current year as well as of the beginning year, previous year, we can say. So, like, in the current year, we have a cash balance of, let me say, uh, $1 million. And in the previous year, we have a cash balance of 500,000. So every stakeholder, every shareholder is being interested in knowing why the cash balance is increasing. They want to know how this cash balance is increasing, how it will be doubling, how it will be doubled within the year. They want to know whether you are generating the cash from operations, whether the cash you are generating from investing activities, like you have certain investment and you sold it out now, or you are taking the loan from the bank, or you are issuing the share capital. That is the reason the cash balance is increasing. So they want to know the reason. If it is coming from the operations, the maximum part of the increase will be coming from the operations. Shareholders are highly interested in buying more equity of the company. So it's very, very important statement, I feel, because it somehow make shareholders more interested in buying the equity of the company. They'll be more interested in investing in the debt of the company, investing in the bonds of the company. Overall share value will increase because of this. So that's why this is also one of the most important statement which every company needs to prepare. Because it is much beyond just showing the increase or decrease in the cash. It is much beyond that, because we divide the cash flow into three parts. Okay, let's move to the next point. Notes. Notes to the financial statement. What are the notes? Notes to the financial statements.
सर द कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट की जो तीन पार्ट आपने बताया वो थोड़ा एक बार रिवाइंड कर देंगे प्लीज, एक बार जस्ट नेम करके नॉमिनेशन यहाँ.
Yeah. Okay. So mainly the cash can be generated from three ways. We have a cash flow from operating activities. Operating means from operations, from day-to-day operations. Next is investing activities. In the investing activities, we will be including any purchase of long-term assets, purchase of investments that will be coming here, or sale of investments, sale of assets that will be coming here. And in case of the last one is financing activities. Whether we are generating the cash from issue of common stock, from issue of proceeds from loan, or we are investing, we are just increasing the cash in terms of buyback of shares, in terms of payment of loan, dividend. So that is all is the part of cash flows. Okay. Next, we are coming to the notes to the financial statement. What are the notes? Anyone have any idea about this?
It gives additional information apart from the financial statements that are presented, like breakdown of different balances, then basis of presentation and the accounting policies in which the statement is prepared.
Absolutely correct. So, mainly a lot of things have to be included in the notes. Whatever we cannot show, whatever the information we can't show in our on the face of the financial statements, that will become the part of the notes. Just a simple thing, if I'm saying, we show the value of inventory. Okay. So in the value of inventory, the company do not have a single type of inventory. Like they have 10, 15 different items they have within their inventory. Those all 10, 15 items we can't present in our balance sheet. But even we can't present, but still the shareholders of the company want that information. They want that how much inventory is the finished goods, how much inventory they have in the raw material, they have in the WIP at the end of the year. They want to know everything. So ultimately, as the company cannot present this information on the face of the financial statements, that needs to be provided in the notes. That this all is the range of inventory I have. This all is the range of inventory I have that will be presented in the notes. So whatever the information I can't show on the face, that is something I have to present in the notes. How the depreciation is being calculated, that is something presented in the notes. So explanation regarding each and every item within the financial statement should be presented to the in the notes to the financial statement. It's a supplement or further explain the information on the face of the financial statement. Just like we usually prepare, we usually prepare the notes even when we are in class 11, 12th, we are doing our further studies, we are preparing the notes. Even now, if the question is asking us for the computations, for the calculation, we add the note. In the note, we show all the calculations. Same is being done by the company as well. Whatever the calculation part is there, that calculation part remains in the notes to accounts. Because if they start doing all the calculation on the face of the face of the financial statement is of no use because it will not provide the picture. What is the reason why the financial statement will be, why we are preparing that? It will become lengthy. So that's why they add all the details within the notes. What are the accounting policies that is being used? Can anybody please explain what are the accounting policies? Any example? If you want to explain with the examples.
I think,
This
sir,
note, sorry, this note will say that the financial statements are prepared in accordance with the IFRS or GAAP, or for private enterprises, it is ASP. So this will outline the policy that is used, according to which the FS is, I mean, the financial statements are prepared.
Great. Yes, I think someone else is also explaining.
sir,
Sir,
accounting policy.
oh, sorry.
Okay. Yes, Santosh. Sorry.
Sir, revenue recognitions, cost expenditures, if सबका समझ करके एंट्री डालना, प्रिंसिपल्स मेंटेन करके, ये दीज आर अकाउंटिंग पॉलिसीज एज पर माय।
Okay, absolutely. So accounting policies is nothing like we are following a gap, we are following an IFRS, or which depreciation method we are following, which inventory valuation method we are following, FIFO, LIFO, weighted average, whatever it is, whatever is the policies of the company, what policy the company is following, how they are presenting the things in their books, what all methods they are following, which depreciation method they are following. This is something is the part of accounting policies. Because if I'm looking at the value of an asset, definitely we want to know. When I'm looking at the value of the assets, I will definitely want to know how the what depreciation method is being used, how the value of an asset is going down. We want to know that. That's why we mainly include the accounting policies that is being used. Then other disclosures required by the gap. Other disclosures, many disclosures are there. Like they will be talking about the contingencies, what is the contingency policy you are following, whether the event that is contingent should be required to be disclosed or not. So after that, if you are recording any warranty expense, how we are recording that. If we are following, just like in India, we have to prepare the provision for doubtful debts. In the same way, in US, we create the allowance for credit losses. How we do that? How much percentage of the sales, how much percentage of the ending AR will be treated as a allowance? These all the disclosures will be required by the gap. All the disclosures.
मेरा क्वेश्चन था, सप्लीमेंट और फॉरवर्ड एक्सप्लेनेशन जो इंफॉर्मेशन है उसमें आपने कहा कि डेप्रिसिएशन कैलकुलेशंस, इन्वेंटरी डिटेल्स अपने को डालना है, उसमें क्या रेशियो एनालिसिस भी हम लोग इंक्लूड करते हैं?
रेशियो एनालिसिस फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट का पार्ट नहीं होता. इट इज द पार्ट ऑफ एनुअल रिपोर्ट. दोनों
ओके,
चीजें डिफरेंट होती है. एनुअल
ठीक है,
रिपोर्ट के अंदर मल्टीपल चीजें आ जाती है. एनुअल रिपोर्ट के अंदर ही रेशियो एनालिसिस भी आता है.
ओके सर,
But in the financial statement, we never include the ratio analysis.
ओके
You can never see कि financial statement में हमने ये 4 financial statement पढ़े थे. We never include the ratio analysis.
ठीक है सर।
Now, mainly we will be following one basic accounting equation. Asset is equal to liabilities plus equity. So, when I'm using this equation, asset is equal to liabilities plus equity. We usually say in one side of the balance sheet we have a asset, in other side of the balance sheet we have a liabilities and equity. But can anybody please explain why in one side we have the assets, in other sides equally we are showing liabilities and equity? Any idea? How this equation you will be finding out is reliable or is it accurate? How you can say that? See, when I'm using the term assets, assets include machinery, inventory, equipment, whatever it is. In the liabilities, we will be including the loan. In equity, I will be including the retained earnings. I'll be including the common stock. I'll be including other balances, multiple balances. That is the part of capital. So when we buy an asset, what we do? So to buy an asset, we get the money either through liabilities or we get the money through equity. Means either we take the loan or we invest from our own pocket. When I'm using the term equity, I'm talking about my own pocket. I'm investing the money from my own pocket. So as and when the asset balance will be increasing, either the liabilities balance or the equity balance will be increasing. That's why we always say asset is equal to liabilities plus equity.
सर इसका मतलब हम ऐसे सोच सकते हैं कि एसेट खरीदने का पैसा कहाँ से आया और एसेट
Right.
तो हाँ ठीक ठीक है
एसेट खरीदने के लिए पैसा कहाँ से लोगे? Either you'll be taking out from your own pocket, so it will lead
हम्म,
to the increase in the equity. It's like you are investing the capital in the business. It's like that. Like I'm investing, suppose I purchase an asset for the company. I'm just taking out the money from my own pocket and investing in the assets of the company. So equity balance will go up and assets balance will go up. In the same way, we can take any of the asset on a loan or we are buying an inventory on credit. So inventory value will go up and the liabilities value will also go up. That's why we use this equation asset is equal to liabilities plus equity. That's why we use this equation.
ठीक है सर
And whenever we prepare the double entry effect, whenever I think everybody knows we follow the double entry bookkeeping. So there is a double entry effect will be there for every transaction. For every transaction, like we purchase an asset, what happened? As the asset value will move up, normally the liabilities or the equity will also be moving up because we are using the money through by taking a loan or we are using the money we have kept in an equity. In any way, it will be moving up. Like just a simple example I would be giving. Like I invested the money in the organization. So what happened? Organization will receive the cash. So I'll be doing a journal entry as cash account debit, common stock will be credit. Whatever this cash I've received, I have put it in the asset side. With the increase in this cash balance, what happened? Now I have asset side balance will be increased. Now suppose I want to buy a machinery. What I do? I'll use this cash. So machinery account debit, cash account will be credit. Other option I have is I just keep this cash as it is and purchase the machinery on a liability, like by crediting the AP account. I can do that. This is something I can do as a part of double entry effect.
So how will we purchase machinery using the AP account?
So how the machinery being purchased in the AP? AP is
Yeah.
nothing. AP is like an accounts payable. We are crediting the accounts payable. We are crediting a liability. Means the person who have sold an asset on the credit, we are just showing that account within the liability account. That's it. And we do that. Like we usually purchase the asset on the loan. We usually credit the AP account. We never use the word loan account, loan payable. We never use these words. We always use the word accounts payable. See, if we are going to make the payment within next 1 year, we use the word AP. If we are not going to make the payment in the next 1 year, like we have a proper, we are taking like 2 years, 3 years to make the payment of the loan. In that case, we use the word notes payable. We'll discuss about it in the coming sessions. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So this is how the balance sheet looks like. In one side of the balance sheet, we have the assets. Other side, we have the liabilities and equity. So in the current assets, we have a cash, we have a AFS debt securities, we have a AR, we have a note receivable, inventories, prepaid expenses. So those assets which are going to be converted into cash within the period of 1 year, within the period of 12 months. We call them as a current assets. In the non-current assets, we include the investments which we are holding for the longer period, in which we include equity method investment, we include the PPE. Out of PPE, we'll show the subtraction of accumulated depreciation, we show the goodwill. So ultimately, we have the total balance, total non-current assets within our asset side. Next, we have in the liability side, first is the current liability. In the current liability, I'll be showing a liability that have to be paid within 12 months. These are the current liabilities. Any of the liability we have to pay within the next 12 months are the current liability. And any liability that have to be paid in more than 1 year, more than 12 months, we call it as a non-current liabilities. Like bonds payable, long-term notes payable, employee-related obligation, deferred income taxes. This all is the part of non-current liabilities. So total liabilities I have. Then in the equity side, I'll be showing common stock, APIC, accumulated OCI, retained earnings, total equity. That is something being the part of equity side of the balance sheet. So what is a common stock? Common stock is same as equity share capital in India. What is APIC? APIC is same as security premium. Then OCI, whatever the OCI balance we are getting, whatever the, I think we discussed about the other comprehensive income. In other comprehensive income, whatever the balance we have at the end, that will be transferred to the, that will be transferred in the balance sheet, not in the retained earnings, that will be transferred to the accumulated OCI. Then we have a retained earning, just like in India, we have a reserve and surplus. In the same way, we have a retained earnings in US. So whatever the profits that we earn, that will be transferred to the retained earnings. Whatever the dividend we pay, that will be deducted from the retained earnings. Then we have a total equity. Guys, you can quickly go through to this. Then we'll move to the next part of the session.
सर एडिशनल पेड इन कैपिटल, ये थोड़ा क्लियर नहीं हुआ सर, ये थोड़ा बताएंगे आप?
Is this clear?
सर ये
Yes.
एडिशनल
It's
पेड इन कैपिटल, ये थोड़ा मतलब ये क्या प्रॉफिट जैसा ही पार्ट है ना, इशू जो
आपने
हम लोग
सिक्योरिटी
करते हैं?
प्रीमियम सुना है? आपने आई थिंक
हाँ
सिक्योरिटी
सर।
प्रीमियम सुना होगा.
हाँ सर।
Yes, Pratik. Suppose we are issuing the common stock at $12 and the par value is $1. So remaining amount goes to the APIC. So journal entry have to be like cash account debit,
अच्छा अच्छा,
common
गॉट द
stock will
पॉइंट।
be credit, and APIC will be credit. It's like that. So whatever is the par value that will be transferred to common stock, whatever is the security premium that will be credited to uh, $11 that will be credited to APIC account. APIC का पूरा नाम क्या होता है? Additional paid in capital, वो लिखा भी है, but we usually call it as additional paid in capital in excess of par. Means not par value, just par. Means whatever the value of capital we are receiving in excess of the par value. Means suppose I'm issuing the common stock, par value is $1, we are issuing at 12. So whatever the additional amount I'm getting, that is the part of additional paid in capital in excess of par.
जी सर, इसको हम लोग इक्विटी में ही रखेंगे, ये मतलब इसको प्रॉफिट के हिसाब से कैलकुलेट नहीं कर सकते ना?
No, 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 it's not a profit. It is something that is the part of APIC, additional paid in capital. So this will remain as a part of contributed capital. This will be paid by the owners. This will be paid uh, by those who are applying for the common stock of the company. They will be paying this amount. That's why it's a paid in capital of the company. And within the paid in capital of the company, we have a common stock and we have an additional paid in capital. Then we have a OCI where all the OCI balances will be accumulated. Then we have a retained earnings where whatever the profit is not paid to the owners of the company will be shown as a part of retained earnings.
Sir, we'll follow this format for preparing the FS, right?
Yes, this is
But
same format.
एक डाउट था, IFRS 18 आई थिंक उसमें नॉन करेंट लायबिलिटीज नॉन करेंट एसेट्स पहले दिखाते हैं ना, और लायबिलिटीज में आई थिंक पहले इक्विटी देन नॉन करेंट लायबिलिटीज देन करेंट लायबिलिटीज.
But in US GAAP, we follow this format. So mainly in the US GAAP, we follow the format on the basis of liquidity. More liquid an asset is, that will come first. More liquid the liability is, that will come first. कोई भी एसेट जिसको आप जल्दी कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो, यू कैन कन्वर्ट इट अर्ली, इज रिकॉर्डेड फर्स्ट, इज गोइंग टू बी रिकॉर्डेड फर्स्ट. जैसे कैश, AFS, डेट सिक्योरिटीज, AR, जितना ज्यादा लिक्विड होगा दैट विल कम फर्स्ट. इन द सेम वे फॉर द लाइबिलिटीज, first we show the current liabilities, and in the current liabilities, the liability that will be paid first will be recorded first. AP, accounts payable, is one of the liability that will be paid in a short term, very short term. Within 1 month, we have to clear all these payments. So equity is something we never paid off. So that's why it is coming at the last.
एक और छोटा सा पॉइंट था सर, ये नॉन करंट लायबिलिटी में एक लॉन्ग टर्म नोट्स पेएबल है, यहाँ तक
Hmm.
तो समझ में आया कि बॉन्ड्स पेबल्स है, एम्प्लॉय रिलेटेड ऑब्लिगेशन है, डेफर्ड इनकम टैक्सेस है, बट लॉन्ग टर्म नोट्स पेबल, इसको थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करेंगे सर आप?
So first thing is, what is the difference between accounts payable and notes payable? Any idea?
So accounts payable, basically creditors, for example,
Hmm.
we are purchasing on credit, we have to pay them within a very short span of time. Notes payable में we can say debentures, हम लोग debentures issue कर रहे हैं to raise capital, तो वो
So I think debentures are the part of notes because a debenture is also one type of notes
notes
only.
payable. हाँ तो debentures like we are issuing for suppose 3 years, तो 3 years के बाद हमको we have to pay off. So I think that will be a long term liability.
Okay. But I can add one thing here. So whatever is the accounts payable always remains for the short term. Okay. But in any case, like we are buying a goods or we are buying any inventory, mostly when we buy the long-term assets, we buy inventory that will remain with the company for the longer period of time. Inventory mostly is a current asset, but even if it is a current asset, we have it with us for 11 months, for 12 months, or we buy any long-term asset like we buy any machinery and we are planning to make the payment in more than 1 year. So in that case, the other party also want a surety. Other party also wants a surety. They want a security or surety from your end that you'll make the payment on time. And they want a surety on a particular date. So what they do, they get a promissory note signed. They get a promissory note signed whenever any of the sale purchase agreement is being, normally I will say not the sale, but I can say the words purchases. Whenever the purchase agreement is being signed through the notes, the payment is being due on the basis of notes that is being signed. In that case, we call the term notes payable. We use this term notes payable. Whenever we make a purchase of machinery and the promissory note is being signed, we use the term notes payable. We use the we take the journal entry as machinery account debit, notes payable will be credit. We use this term. And notes payable is mostly a non-current liability. It's not a current liability. Sometimes even in the short-term cases also we sign the promissory note. So in that case it will become a current liability. But it is once in a rare case.
तो इसको तो अकाउंट्स पेबल पे भी तो डाल सकते थे हम, जब नॉन करंट मतलब
देखिए
लायबिलिटी है
जब
तो।
प्रॉमिसरी नोट साइन होगा वी नेवर यूज द वर्ड एपी, वी यूज द वर्ड नोट्स पेबल।
अच्छा।
अगर नोट साइन हुआ है तो नोट्स पेबल के अंदर जाएगा। नोट्स पेबल मतलब हमारे पास कोई नोट है और उसके बेसिस पे हमें पे ऑफ करना है, हमने प्रॉमिस कर रखा है कि हमें पेमेंट करना है विद इन द टाइम। एंड अगर प्रॉमिस भी किया है तो इट मीन्स हमने नोट साइन किया है।
इसका मतलब हम ऐसे बोल सकते हैं कि 1 साल से ज्यादा जिस लाइबिलिटी को हम लोग खींच के ले जा रहे हैं उसमें हमारे इसके साथ अग्रीमेंट्स हैं, वही चीजें यहीं पे आएंगी, लॉन्ग टर्म नोट्स पेबल।
राइट 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 राइट। गाइस एक चीज और है यहाँ पे, अगर आपने इस पे ध्यान दिया है, current maturities of long-term debt. What does this mean? That will be coming in the current liabilities.
which are mature within 1 year.
Okay. But long-term debt is the part of non-current liabilities. Like you have taken a loan. Okay. You have taken a loan of, let me say, $1 million. And this loan is repaid within 10 installments with the interest. So every year I need to pay $100,000. So whatever needs to be paid in the next 1 year, like this $100,000 have to be paid in the next 1 year, so it will be shown as a current liability. And other part of the loan, which is 900,000, it will be shown as a non-current liability. This is something about the current maturity of long-term debt. Any part of the long-term debt that is going to be paid off within the next 1 year is mainly considered as current maturity of long-term debt. And the remaining portion is something we call it as a non-current liability.
सर इसका एक एग्जांपल देंगे सर, मतलब पल्ले नहीं पड़ा।
सॉरी, अच्छा ओके। आपने एक लोन लिया, ठीक है, यू हैव टेकन अ लोन, एंड लोन के अंदर टर्म है कि हर साल आपको, ये लोन आपको 10 साल में खत्म करना है, हर साल आपको जो पेमेंट है वो आपको करनी पड़ेगी प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट की। जैसे यूजुअली हम लोन लेते हैं तो कैसे लेते हैं, वी पे द ईएमआई, और ईएमआई के अंदर टू पोर्शंस होते हैं। सम पार्ट ऑफ द ईएमआई इज अ इंटरेस्ट, अदर पार्ट ऑफ द ईएमआई इज अ प्रिंसिपल पेमेंट। तो जो भी प्रिंसिपल पेमेंट आप नेक्स्ट 12 मंथ्स पे करने वाले हो, दैट इज योर करंट लायबिलिटी। उसके बाद जितनी भी आप प्रिंसिपल पेमेंट करोगे, दैट इज अ नॉन करंट लायबिलिटी। देखिए, एक लोन है, आपने 10 साल के लिए लिया, इट्स अ लॉन्ग टर्म लोन, दैट्स फाइन। बट उस लोन में से जितना पैसा आप आने वाले 12 मंथ्स में पे करोगे विद इन द नेक्स्ट 12 मंथ्स इज अ करंट लायबिलिटी। दैट इज समथिंग आई एम सेइंग। जैसे एक लोन लिया मैंने $1 million का, इसको मैं 10 years में पे ऑफ करने वाला हूं। सो जो 10 years में पे ऑफ करने वाला हूं, तो डेफिनेटली विद इन नेक्स्ट 12 मंथ्स भी मैं कुछ पेमेंट करने वाला हूं। सो वॉट एवर आई एम गोइंग टू पे इन द नेक्स्ट 12 मंथ्स इज अ करंट लायबिलिटी फॉर अस। स्टिल इट इज नॉट क्लियर?
नहीं मतलब मुद्दा ये है कि इसको क्यों हम नॉन करंट पे नहीं लिए, करंट पे लिए। इसमें आपने कहा कि प्रिंसिपल और इंटरेस्ट हम लोग पे करते हैं ईएमआई के केस में। अब हम
हम्म,
कितना एक साल में प्रिंसिपल पे करने वाले हैं, वो है करंट मैच्योरिटी ऑफ द एलडी डेट।
राइट राइट राइट। सी, हमने करंट लायबिलिटीज की एक डेफिनेशन पढ़ी थी कि दोज लायबिलिटीज आर गोइंग टू बी पेड ऑफ विद इन द नेक्स्ट 12 मंथ्स। सो जितनी लायबिलिटीज आप आने वाले 12 महीने में पे ऑफ करने वाले हो, दैट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ करंट लायबिलिटीज। आपने एक लॉन्ग टर्म लोन ले रखा है, 10 साल के लिए ले रखा है, लेकिन कुछ पोर्शन आप अगले साल तक पे करने वाले हो ना, तो जितना पोर्शन आप अगले साल तक पे ऑफ करने वाले हो, दैट्स अ करंट मैच्योरिटी ऑफ लॉन्ग टर्म डेट।
ये कंफ्यूजन क्रिएट करेगा सर कि करंट मैच्योरिटी ऑफ एलटी डेब्ट एंड लॉन्ग टर्म नोट्स पेबल के साथ, बिकॉज हम लोन लेकर के मशीन भी तो खरीद सकते हैं।
सी, कुछ भी हो, आपने कोई भी लोन लिया, आपको इसमें टेंशन लेनी ही नहीं है। सपोज आपने कोई लोन लिया, अगर आप उसकी पेमेंट 12 महीने के अंदर अंदर करने वाले हो, अगर नहीं करने वाले तो कोई टेंशन नहीं है। मैंने कहा नहीं, मैं तो सारा लोन एक बारी में पे करूंगा, आफ्टर 5 years इट विल बिकम अ लॉन्ग टर्म डेट। बट if I am going to make the payment of the loan in EMI, in installments, so whatever the part of the payment you are going to do in the next 12 months will be your long term debt. उसमें नोट्स पेबल में तो ऐसा कभी होता नहीं है। मेनली इट हैपेंस इन केस ऑफ लोन। आपने कोई भी लोन लिया तो उस केस में पॉसिबल है। हो सकता है कि नोट्स पेबल के केस में भी यू आर गोइंग टू मेक द पेमेंट इन द इंस्टॉलमेंट्स, दैट इज पॉसिबल, लेकिन जितना इंस्टॉलमेंट आप आने वाले 12 मंथ्स में पे करोगे, दैट इज योर करंट मेच्योरिटी ऑफ लॉन्ग टर्म डेट।
ठीक है सर, अभी तक तो क्लियर है। ठीक है सर।
सर, ये करंट एसेट्स में अवेलेबल फॉर सेल डेट सिक्योरिटीज, इसका क्या मतलब है?
ओके, आई विल बी एक्सप्लेनिंग दैट। सो डेट सिक्योरिटीज तीन तरीके की होती है। So there are three types of debt securities are there. One is trading debt securities. One is held to maturity debt securities. And one is AFS, available for sale debt securities. सबसे पहला है, when I'm saying trading means I'm just keeping it for very, very short duration. I'm not keeping it for the long duration. I'm keeping it for very, very short duration. That's a trading debt security. It's always a current asset. Then डेट सिक्योरिटीज में अगर आप इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो तो डेट सिक्योरिटी जैसे इक्विटी में अगर आप इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो, इक्विटी डू नॉट हैव एनी लाइफ, डू नॉट हैव एनी मैच्योरिटी पीरियड टिल द टाइम द कंपनी is not liquidating. The equity securities will never be paid off. Common stock को कभी भी पे ऑफ नहीं करना होता. But when you are investing in a debts have a maturity period. जैसे आप किसी कंपनी के बॉन्ड्स पे इन्वेस्ट करोगे, इट विल बी हैविंग अ मेच्योरिटी पीरियड ऑफ 10 years, 20 years, max to max. So you have an intention to keep the debt security till maturity, till 20 years. That will come under HTM. And the third is AFS, available for sale. Means you neither have an intention to keep it for very, very short term, like for trading purposes, neither you have an intention to keep it till maturity. In that case, we classify the debt securities under available for sale. Available for sale means, I always feel this term usually means that I have an intention, like intention towards some percentage of profit. As and when that percentage of profit will be made on, I'll sell these securities. But there is no clear definition. For AFS securities, they always write any debt security that is not a trading debt security or not a HTM debt security, held to maturity debt security, is a AFS debt securities. उसका कोई बेसिक मतलब नहीं है. एएफएस का मतलब अवेलेबल फॉर सेल. एज एंड व्हेन वी मेक द प्रॉफिट्स वी जस्ट सेल दीज एसेट्स. अगर मुझे लग गया कि मुझे इसको 12 मंथ्स पे बेचना है, आई कॉल इट एज अ करंट एसेट. अगर मुझे लगता है नहीं, आई वांट टू सेल इट इन द लॉन्ग टर्म, इन 2 years, 3 years, so then it will become a non-current asset as well. But trading debt securities always come under current assets.
इसका मतलब सर ये अवेलेबल फॉर सेल डेप्ट सिक्योरिटी के तीन पार्ट को ही एनालिसिस करके वहां पे फिगर डालना पड़ेगा अपने को.
Right, right.
Okay.
We'll discuss it in detail. We have a complete chapter for this. So in this statement of financial position, first we are talking about the current assets. So what are the current assets? So it includes cash and other assets or resources commonly identified as reasonably expected to be realized in cash or sold or consumed during the normal operating cycle of the business. Any of the asset you are going to realize, you are going to consume within within normal operating cycle or within 12 months. I can also add one more thing. We call it as a current assets. In case of non-current asset, those which are not current are the non-current. We include investment and funds, PPE, intangible asset, other non-current assets that will be included here. Guys, you can quickly go through to this. I'll be back in 2 minutes, okay? I'll be back in 2 minutes. You can quickly go through this. I think everyone is clear with this. Can we proceed?
Yes, sir.
जी sir.
Okay. Next, we are coming to the current liabilities. So, obligation whose liquidation is reasonable, expected to require the use of existing resources, properly classified as current asset, or creation of other current liabilities. So, current liability is nothing like if any of the liability we are paying off out of current assets of the company from the resources that is classified as a current asset. If we are going to pay it off from there, we usually classify it as a current liability. For any liabilities, for its liquidation, it is reasonably expected to require the use of existing resources that will be classified as current asset, or the creation of other current liabilities, that's a current liability. But mostly, I would say any liability, in a simple terms, any liability that is going to be paid off within the next 12 months is the current liability. So, and those liabilities which are not current are the non-current liabilities. Non-current notes, bonds, lease liabilities, post-retirement benefit obligation, these all will be the part of non-current liabilities. Any doubt?
नहीं sir.
No, sir.
What about Sachi? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Next we have is a equity. What is equity? So when I'm using the term equity, it's a residual value. Out of assets, when we pay off the liabilities, whatever is being remaining is the residual value, residual interest. So residual interest in the assets of the company after the liabilities will be paid off. It's a residual interest after the total liabilities are subtracted from the total assets. It includes the contributed capital. What is the contributed capital? It
Share
includes
capital.
common stock. It includes APIC mainly. Common stock and APIC is the part of contributed capital. Then we have a retained earnings. See, for retained earnings, we'll discuss in detail also in the coming part of the session. But retained earnings closing balance is calculated as opening retained earnings balance. That is a previous year retained earning balance. Then whatever the income, whatever the loss will be there, it will be adjusted. Then, sorry, it's not positive, it's negative. Next one. So the next is whatever the dividends we paid or declared, whatever it is, it will be deducted. And any prior period items, we'll discuss about it. When we adjust that, we'll get the closing balance of retained earnings. The third thing we have is the accumulated OCI balance. So OCI balance keeps on accumulating within the balance sheet of the company. And what is NCI? I think everyone heard about the minority interest in consolidated financial statement. Have you heard about the minority interest?
No sir. नहीं sir.
ओके कभी
Yes, sir.
किसी ने कंसोलिडेटेड वाला चैप्टर पढ़ा है? कंसोलिडेटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स, बिजनेस कॉम्बिनेशन, मर्जर्स, एक्विजिशन, समथिंग लाइक दैट.
Yes, sir.
आई थिंक प्रतीक आपने तो पढ़ा ही होगा.
हाँ, वो पढ़ा है,
सर
लेकिन 10
क्लास
साल
12 नहीं सॉरी बीकॉम में करा था. उसके बाद
ओके
याद नहीं.
ओके, सी कंसोलिडेशन में क्या होता था, सम सपोज ए लिमिटेड, ए कंपनी एक्वायर्स बी कंपनी, तो ए एक्वायर्स इन द बी कंपनी 80% शेयर. ओके, सो 80% इज अ कंट्रोलिंग इंटरेस्ट. सो 80% तो ए ने एक्वायर कर लिया, बाकी बचा हुआ 20%, दिस इज समथिंग विद द अदर शेयर होल्डर्स, एंड दैट इज समथिंग नोन एज नॉन कंट्रोलिंग इंटरेस्ट. ए कंपनी का कंट्रोलिंग इंटरेस्ट कितना है? 80%. नॉन कंट्रोलिंग इंटरेस्ट कितना है? 20%. तो इस नॉन कंट्रोलिंग इंटरेस्ट की वैल्यू भी कहां आती है? रिटेन अर्निंग्स के अंदर. इक्विटी के अंदर हम शो करते हैं नॉन कंट्रोलिंग इंटरेस्ट. ओके,
सर इस केस में ये कंपनी पेरेंट हो गया ना, मोर देन 50% शेयर होल्डिंग आरएबी का.
हाँ, पेरेंट एंड सब्सिडरी के केस में ही नॉन कंट्रोलिंग इंटरेस्ट होता है. वी हैव टू शो द वैल्यू ऑफ नॉन कंट्रोलिंग इंटरेस्ट इन केस ऑफ पेरेंट एंड सब्सिडरी कंपनी. So whatever is the fair value of non-controlling interest is, that will be presented in the equity side of consolidated balance sheet. This non-controlling interest is only required to be shown when we are preparing consolidated balance sheet. अगर consolidated balance sheet नहीं बना रहे, we are not going to show it. तो जब हम consolidated financial statements पढ़ेंगे, at that time I'll help you explain more about this non-controlling interest. Can we move on, everyone?
Yes, sir.
जी
यस
सर.
सर.
Now I'm starting with statement of income. So, I think we have already discussed that why we prepare the statement of income, what it shows. We have already discussed about it. So, we are starting with the very first point in the income statement. How we calculate the income? How we calculate the net income or the loss? In the income statement, we prepare the income statement. In the income statement, we prepare this just to calculate the amount of income or the loss made by the company. How much amount of income the company is doing, how much amount of loss the company is doing. For that purpose, we are preparing the income statement. Out of revenues, when we are subtracting the expenses, can anybody please explain what are the revenues? In simple words, what are the revenues?
Sale of goods.
Sorry.
Sale, WB goods, when we are selling the goods, that is the revenue of the company. Goods or
Okay.
services.
whenever we are selling goods or services, we have a revenue. Okay. Anyone else?
Income from operating activity.
It comes in from operating activities. Okay. Okay. So when I'm using the term revenues is something that leads to the inflow of cash or increase in assets और settlement of liabilities. इन तीनों में से कुछ भी होगा, so there is a revenue will be there. मतलब आपको पैसा मिला, आपने गुड्स बेचे, आपको पैसा मिल गया, that's a revenue. आपने गुड्स बेचे, आपको पैसा नहीं मिला, बट योर AR अकाउंट बैलेंस विल इंक्रीज, अकाउंट रिसीवेबल balances will increase, so which will lead to the increase in the assets. Or there is a settlement of liabilities. How we can call it as a settlement of liabilities? Settlement means liabilities are going down. Like we follow the accrual method when we are recording. So we follow the accrual method. Accrual method means as and when the transaction occurs, we need to record it. It is an accrual method. So let me take one example, and I want everyone should let me know the journal entry for that. Then I'll explain you about the settlement of liability accordingly. The company received an advance of, let me say, $50,000 for the goods to be delivered afterwards, or I would say in next year. So what journal entry the company will be recording? What do you think?
I think advance cash account debit to account receivable.
Cash account debit to account receivable. Okay.
Cash account debit to advance.
Cash account debit to advance. Okay. One more answer is remaining.
So, um, advance debit to inventory, मतलब तो इन्वेंट्री बाद में सेल होगा तो वो मैं लायबिलिटी मतलब या
तो इन्वेंट्री तो ट्रांसफर ही नहीं हुई, तो इन्वेंट्री का तो यूज ही नहीं आएगा। और वैसे भी हम जब गुड्स बेचते हैं तो इन्वेंट्री को कहाँ रिकॉर्ड करते हैं? इन्वेंट्री अलग केस में आती है, नॉट इन एवरी केस वी विल बी डेबिटिंग और क्रेडिटिंग द इन्वेंट्री। तो इस केस में जर्नल एंट्री क्या होगी? लेट मी शो यू। कैश अकाउंट विल बी डेबिट, कैश तो आया है, कैश तो डेबिट होगा ही होगा, बट द रेवेन्यू विल बी डेफर्ड। The revenue will be deferred. We cannot record the revenue till the time the goods are not sold. In this example, you can clearly say that the goods are not sold. We have only received in advance. Goods are not sold. Until the time the goods are not sold, no revenue should be recognized. We can recognize unearned revenue. So unearned revenue will be credited. Or you can also use the word deferred revenue. Until the time the goods are not delivered, these will be shown as a current liabilities of the company. This will be shown as a current liability of the company. And now, whenever the goods are sold, at that time, this liability will be settled. At the time the goods are transferred, at that time, unearned revenue will be debit and sales account will be credit. This is the journal entry we need to record at the time the goods are transferred. So that's why we use the word settlement of liabilities. So this liability is being settled at the time the goods are transferred to the customer. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Just to explain about the settlement of liabilities, I have taken this example. Because otherwise everyone have a doubt how the settlement of liability lead to a revenue. Next is expenses. What are the expenses? What are the expenses?
सर डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस आएंगे जो ऑपरेटिंग मतलब ऑपरेशंस में जो एक्सपेंसेस हुए हैं वो
Okay.
Outflow of cash.
Outflow of cash. तो उसको रेवेन्यू से रिलेट कर सकते हैं. आउटफ्लो ऑफ कैश, डिक्रीज इन एसेट्स, इंक्रीज इन लायबिलिटीज. सो
Yes,
नॉर्मली क्या होता है एक्सपेंसेस में? यू मेक द पेमेंट ऑफ कैश, देयर इज अ डिक्रीज इन एसेट्स और देयर इज अ इंक्रीज इन लायबिलिटीज. क्योंकि कभी कभी क्या होता है, एक्सपेंसेस यू हैव नॉट पेड, just like you have not paid a rent, but still the rent expense is there on the accrual basis. You do the journal entry as rent expense will be debit and rent payable will be credit. So expenses will be there. Then gains. What are the gains and how the gain is different from the revenues?
generally gain arises from investing activities.
Okay.
Short
So
term or long
revenue
term.
from day-to-day operations. And
Isn't it
in
revenue? Isn't it revenue? Revenue from day-to-day operation is the part of revenue, I think. How it can be a
income
gain?
gain is not like not from the ordinary business जो company का है.
Okay. It is like we are having a profit from non-operating activities. It's like that. ऑपरेशन से आपको कुछ भी फायदा होगा, दैट्स अ रेवेन्यू. और अगर नॉन ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटीज से आपको कुछ भी फायदा होगा, दैट्स अ गेन. लाइक गेन ऑन सेल ऑफ फिक्स्ड एसेट, लॉन्ग टर्म एसेट, पीपीई. लेकिन यू कैन नेवर राइट गेन ऑन सेल ऑफ इन्वेंट्री. यू नेवर राइट दैट वर्ड. Why? Because inventory is the operation, is the part of operating activity. Inventory we sell on the regular basis. But assets, other assets like machinery, like equipment, we never sell on the regular basis. That's why we never we use the gain for that. We never use the revenue word for that. In the same way, अगर gain हो रहा है तो loss भी हो सकता है. So losses on sale of PPE, losses on sale of any other thing. So that is something is the revenue minus expenses plus gains minus losses. So one second. It is the part of operations. It is the part of non-operating activities. And this will lead to the net income or loss to the company. So we'll prepare the income statement in multiple ways, but two ways are all is there: single step income statement and multiple step income statement. Even there is a condensed income statement is also there. Multiple step or condensed income statement is the similar thing. Only one difference is there. Multiple step income statement is very detailed, which we have already discussed. Detailed statements are not allowed. ये जो भी कैलकुलेशन आप यहाँ पे देख रहे हो, this all the calculation will do in the notes. So that's why this is something not allowed as per US GAAP. So सबसे पहले we'll start with the single step. In the single step income statement, the income or loss will be calculated in a single step. In the single step means all the revenue and gains will be combined, all the expenses and losses will be combined. And when we take the difference of that, we'll get the net income. So we combine all the revenue and gains, net sales, other revenues, gains. We combine all the expenses and losses, COGS, selling expenses, G&A expenses, interest expense, losses, IT expense, and we'll get the net income. And when we divide the net income with the number of shares, that is 20,000, we get the EPS, earning per common share. Guys, you can
So
quickly
it's
go through to this. Yeah, please.
so the current tax in that is there like profit before tax, and then we show the tax to uh, know the
But in
profit
the,
after tax.
yeah, you are absolutely correct. That is profit before tax, then we deduct the taxes, we get the profit after tax. But that is something not possible in case of single step income statement. In the single step, I would be saying in the single step income statement, all the expenses and the losses will be combined. Even the income tax expense is an expense, so it will be combined.
Okay, sir. Got it.
You can take 1 or 2 more minutes, just quickly go through to this. Then we will be discussing more about this. I think everyone is clear with this. Or is there any doubt?
Sir, I have a doubt in the previous slide.
Previous slide.
Yes,
Okay. Yes.
1 minute, sir. Sorry. Sir, in this one, So increase, cash or increase in assets and decrease in assets for the
Expenses.
expenses. How can you explain that, sir? Yes.
So, decrease in cash. Okay. And there's a decrease in assets. Anybody wants to explain how there will be a decrease in assets in case of expenses? Anyone? No one? Okay. Let's discuss about it. So whenever I'm saying there is whenever I'm paying a rent, what I do, I'll make the payment of rent using the cash balance. Okay. And even I can pay the rent using any other asset. Like, suppose I have to pay the rent. I'm saying I don't have the cash. You can keep my inventory. You can take some part of my inventory and just settle your rent. Anything I can do. Sometimes what happen, uh, like we have to give the salary to our employees. Instead of giving the cash, we can also give them some assets. It's possible. In the small organization, when the company is having a lack of cash, in those cases, the company gives the assets to the employees, gives the assets to pay off their expenses. That is why we always say there is a decrease in cash or decrease in assets.
पर सर ये तो काफी स्पेशल केस जैसा है, मतलब ऐसा तो जनरली सैलरी ना दे करके हम एसेट दे रहे हैं, ये
हो
थोड़ा।
सकता है प्रैक्टिकली मैंने ये पॉसिबल है क्योंकि हमने देखा है स्मॉल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में ऐसा होता है। जैसे मैं कंपनी का ऑनर हूं, आई एम ऑल्सो विड्रॉइंग अ सैलरी फ्रॉम द कंपनी। मतलब आई एम लाइक देयर इज अ प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी, आई एम ऑल्सो एन एम्प्लॉय ऑफ द कंपनी। सो इफ आई वांट कि मुझे कुछ सैलरी कैश में चाहिए, कुछ सैलरी इन्वेंट्री की फॉर्म में चाहिए, आई कैन डू। इट्स अलाउड, इट्स प्रैक्टिकली अलाउड, आई एम सेइंग। सो कंपनी को कोई जर्नल एंट्री नहीं करनी, बस कैश की जगह इन्वेंट्री को क्रेडिट कर देंगे। जैसे नॉर्मली क्या जर्नल एंट्री होती है, सैलरीज टू कैश। इन दैट केस वी डू सैलरीज टू इन्वेंट्री एंड दैट इज अ डिक्रीज इन एसेट्स।
पर सर इसको तो बार बार प्रैक्टिस नहीं कर सकते, स्पेशल क्या मतलब फ्रीक्वेंसी इसका तो।
स्पेशल केसेस में होता है, स्पेशल केसेस में होता है, नॉट इन एवरी केस। जैसे कभी कभी कंपनी के पास अगर कैश की क्राइसिस हो जाती है, पॉसिबल है। लाइक मुझे कुछ पेमेंट करनी है किसी को एंड आई डोंट हैव द कैश, और मुझे रेंट भी पे करना था या मुझे कोई और खर्चा भी करना था, व्हाट आई डू, आई गिव सम पार्ट ऑफ माई एसेट। मैंने कहा आप एक काम करो, मेरा कंप्यूटर रख लो। इट्स पॉसिबल। जैसे आई कैन गिव यू माई ओन एग्जाम्पल। 2018 में मैं एक कंपनी में काम करता था। दैट कंपनी इज अबाउट टू क्लोज। सो लास्ट के 2 महीने 3 महीने की मेरी सैलरी नहीं आई। तो कंपनी ने मुझे क्लियर बोला कि जो कंप्यूटर लैपटॉप आपके पास है, जो और एसेट्स हमारी आपके पास है, वो रख लो एंड विल सेटल योर सैलरीज आउट ऑफ इट। और कंपनी ने ऐसे ही किया। कंपनी ने लैपटॉप वगैरह सब मुझे छोड़ दिया मेरे पास एंड दे अल्टीमेटली सेटल देयर सैलरीज आउट ऑफ इट। ऐसा होता है मोस्टली इन केस जब कंपनीज बंद होने वाली हैं, कंपनीज डू नॉट हैव अ कैश, दे डू दीज टाइप ऑफ थिंग्स।
ओके।
एंड सर एक्सपेंसेस में सेटलमेंट की जगह तो इंक्रीज इन लायबिलिटीज होगा, जैसे यू सेड
यस
रेंट
यस यस।
पेबल। तो
या
रेंट
या या
पेबल इज लाइक अक्रूड, अक्रूड
इट्स लाइक अ
एक्सपेंसेस।
It's like accrued expense, outstanding expense, we can say.
Accrued का journal entry will be rent to accrued rent, and then when we are paying accrued.
Journal entry is rent to rent payable. Rent account debit, rent payable will be credit. And the time we pay, rent payable will be debit, cash will be credit.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Now I'm coming to the multiple step income statement. So you can see this income statement is very detailed. They are showing the calculation of net sales, they are showing the calculation of COGS, then they are showing the detail of operating expenses, selling, G&A, everything in detail. It's impossible. If you prepare the income statement like this, ये तो छोटा सा है. नॉर्मली अगर हर एक कंपनी ऐसे बनाने लगेगी, आई फील कि सिर्फ 4 से 5 पेज का तो इनकम स्टेटमेंट ही बनेगा. एंड नोबडी इज एबल टू रीड इट. It's impossible to read it. So that's why this multiple step income statement is not possible. These all the computations like क्या क्या operating expenses हैं, selling expenses कितने के हैं, G&A expenses कितने के हैं, what are the other revenues and the gains, other expenses and losses. These all will be the part of notes to accounts. Then we have income before taxes. So sales minus format is absolutely fine, but it will not be so detailed. Sales minus COGS will be the gross profit. Gross profit minus operating expenses is the income from operations. Out of income from operation, when revenue and gains will be added, expenses and losses will be subtracted. We have an income before taxes. When we subtract the income tax, we get the net income. Just like the net income here is 750, same net income we have here also. But the way of presentation is being changed. Now, when it comes to condensed income statement, it is a multiple income statement only, but the items are not detailed. So they are directly showing net sales, they are directly showing COGS, directly showing selling and expenses, G&A expenses, other revenue and gains, income expense, interest expense, other expenses and losses, then income before taxes, income tax expense, net income, and earning per common share. This is the method that is practically followed. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. So, guys, I'm not starting with COGS now because it is a detailed topic. We'll discuss from the COGS in the coming session, in the next session. So in starting, we only have the sessions on Sundays, but now for the coming week, we have a session on Sundays only, but like after April, from May, we will be having two sessions. We'll plan like it is on Thursday and Sunday or it's on Tuesday and Sunday. We'll plan accordingly. Okay. But
So
please make sure
7:30
whatever we
only.
are, yeah, 7:30. But please make sure, guys, everyone will be doing a revision with the classes only, because if you miss, it will be very difficult. Because with the class, we are also solving the questions with the class only. In the next class, like once we complete this income statement, We'll do the practice questions out of these topics from the GLEIM only.